is a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas, and we have wonderful guests. Now, I was planning on having 3 guests today. So far, I have 1, but he's a very special one, and that is Dr. Robert O. Young, and we're going to be talking about the wonderful new product called MasterPeace in terms of cleansing our bodies and getting purified, you might say. Welcome, Dr. Young. Can you hear me?
To see you, Gail. I can
It's always
hear
good to see you.
you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you just fine. And I think I'm going to see if I can bring, I know Dr. Susan said she was going to be in her car, so it doesn't look like she has a very good signal, though. Dr. Susan, can you hear me? Hello? Okay. She's going to have to get her signal strength up. We also are waiting for Matthew Hazen, who is the owner of the company. But what we could do, Dr. Young, is we could talk. You've done some testing for the company, haven't you? Some microscopic testing?
Yes, I've some STEM testing, scanning transmission electron microscopy and spectroscopy. And I've also done phase contrast and ultimate bright field with dark field. Yeah, so that is to get an idea, the structure of the contents of the MasterPeace, or the supplement that I was looking at, to see at very high magnification, up to 500,000 times.
I don't know. We have a questionable reception here to some extent. Have you, Dr. Susan, can you hear us? I know she said she was in her car, but I can't hear you. So this is the problem with live shows, you know. It is what it is when you get it. And I'm still waiting for Matt to show up. But in the meantime, let me share my screen, and this will maybe be of some help. I have some some of the things that have come out with that MasterPeace had. Oh, who's that? Let me see if she can come in before I do that. Are you able to hear this? I can see you. Can you hear us? You have to make sure you allow the audio, and well, obviously you got video, but you have to allow both of them since you're on your phone. Anyway. Okay, I'm going to share the screen, so I'll keep this moving right along, because I have some really good pictures from MasterPeace that I think people would like to see. Let me make that bigger first. Okay, do you see that? Anybody? It seems we're not having the best reception. I don't know. Here's what I wanted to show. This picture is very interesting because they did some, let me see, I have to move it down a little bit. First of all, if you notice across the top of the screen are pictures, and they have what they say, information line ladders, and then there's a heart, and then there's a stairway, like a stairway to ascend. So this was actually seen in the MasterPeace product, and because apparently they flash froze it and so on. And I wanted to be able to have Matt talk about this, but he's not here. So, but you see the heart, and oh, that's pretty cool. And
Yeah, you're talking about
here.
structured water. You're talking about water. Emotion,
Yeah.
one of the first scientists that
Okay.
looked at in this way, your water. You know, are filled ionized, alkalized, and functionally structured. A lot of minerals can be reintroduced, or in this case, you're looking at the marine plasma and the green plasma at low magnification. So you're probably at about 1,600 times. And so,
wow.
Low magnification appears to be phase contrast. Since these are not my micrographs, and I did not do this work, it'd be better for someone who, this particular work is done by someone else. I don't.
Okay, it's very interesting, and I just wanted to show that real quick. But I also have a picture of the woman who probably did it. But I have to stop sharing this screen. I'll bring up this one, and this is well. First, I gotta wait a second. First, I gotta share again. Share. I anticipate that Dr. Caroline Mansfield was the one that probably did this. And
It's a compound light microscope with magnifications up to about 1,600.
Yeah.
So those are the.
Okay.
Yeah,
let me make that picture look
there.
She did a lot of the work for this company, isn't that correct? She's in England, the United Kingdom. She has something to say here that I think is kind of important, and I'm going to share just a couple minutes because I like what she said. She's talking about a lot depends on the intent of the person making the product.
My work has changed. It's kind of morphed where I'm working more with companies. And I think this situation on Earth has brought a lot of us practitioners together where maybe we're working more isolated or within our own area, in our own countries. And now we seem to have all come together and collaborated because I feel there's something that we're all needing to deal with right now. So it's all happened for a reason. Yeah, so my background is I was brought up in New Zealand. I'm actually from New Zealand, not London.
Okay.
And I had a really beautiful organic upbringing out there on the beach most weekends, schooling.
I just wanted to point out that the light workers are coming together. And as we come together, all of us, whether it be the scientists, the doctors, whatever, we are accomplishing and will accomplish so much more. I'm going to see if Dr. Susan can come on it again. Dr. Susan, are you there? She doesn't appear to be hearing me. I don't know where Matt is, so I'm sorry that this is going on. We're having quite the deal here. I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to remove her for now to see if Matt's coming in. I don't know where he is. I sent him a message. Wow, somebody actually got a notification from YouTube on this show, so I was trying to be kind of careful what we talk about, but I don't know why Matt isn't here. But I can possibly show you another picture that might be of interest that you might be able to explain better than I can, Dr. Young.
What would you like
share again?
me to explain?
I want to add this picture here. What are we look? Well, I guess I have to share it over here. I have to share it in two places. So, okay, there we go. What are we looking at there? Do you know?
This is a dark field microscopy. You're looking at a reflection of what appears to be a crystal. As far as identification on that, I wouldn't be able to speak on that. But,
okay.
You'd have to ask Matt on that as it relates to this this crystal. That's.
I wonder if he somehow got the. I wonder if he got the time mixed up. It says nano zeolite structured living marine plasma.
The nano or micro.
Okay, I'm got a call going on to Matt.
From
where are you, Matt? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on a show. He's supposed to be on it. Hang on. Well, I don't know if you're Eastern time, Standard time. My time is Mountain time, and he was scheduled whatever his time is. I don't know what his time zone is. This is a problem because Dr. Young has to leave. It's kind of ruining the show, actually. But anyway, we'll try to do the best we can. Okay. Oh, sorry about that, everyone. I don't know what happened. I guess the time got mixed up. I sent a clarification time thing, but sometimes stuff just happens anyway. And I'm sorry about catching you off guard about this, Dr. Young. I'm glad you're here. At least you can speak to the importance of detoxifying the body or cleansing the body, whatever terminology you care to use, because it appears from the graphs that I've seen from the before and after, the results are amazing. Would you agree with that?
Well, if you're talking about the compounds or chemicals, forever chemicals, and also the metals that we tested in a licensed lab, in relationship to the taking vascular fluids and identifying specific compounds or elements in those, such as aluminum oxide, as graphene oxide, phosphoric acrylics or plastics now in the human body. And so these were analyzed. Compound, of course, I was interested is graphene oxide, and whether it's shown vaccinated or unvaccinated. And it showed not only showed up, but it showed up at high levels. Taking MasterPeace for a period of 90 days. We retested after 35 days, tested again after 90 days. There was across the board on 10 specific compounds, chemicals, forever chemicals. The reason they're called forever is because they are difficult to get out of the body. And so Matt has arrived. We were just talking about some of the testing that was done, specifically 90-day testing of arterial of vascular fluids, chemicals and metals. The ones were graphene oxide, ethylene glycol, hydrogel, and some of the others were iron, and the list
Were they
goes
able to
on.
measure
But
glyphosate by
one of
any
the
chance?
unique glyphosate, the compounds of about 20 that we will be evaluating beginning in a week or so for a period of 90 days, adding glyphosate. But the main purpose of this is to see if we could remove cytotoxic, genotoxic, magnetic material that has the ability to self-assemble. And also, because of its magnetics, it can receive and transmit. So it can be a base of connecting people to the internet of brains or the internet of humans. And this is where contact tracing comes in, and also wireless medicine, wireless diagnostics, where one can track from a distance blood pressure, blood sugars, and do all the testing remotely. And the material that's being used as a base, it's two-dimensional graphene oxide. So this was a compound that I found originally in early of 2021, finding graphene oxide that was not listed on the white sheet or the descriptions of those ingredients contained within the vial. And so that included all of the major COVID vaccines. And now we're finding graphene oxide in the water. We're finding it in the air. We're finding it in our food. We're finding it in personal care products. And so there's many ways which folks can be transfected by this. And so it's a very, very important study that Conscious Support, their company, did on 3 people, 2 of which were vaccinated and 1 who was unvaccinated, ranging in ages from 57 to 60. And all of them showed high levels of graphene oxide in their vascular fluids. After 35 days, and then we tested again. And then at the end of 90 days, they were tested again. And across the board on 10 toxic compounds and heavy metals and forever chemicals that were identified in each of these folks had reduced an average of over 70%.
That's significant.
It was a significant thing. This is when I had talked to Matt, and he wanted me to also look at this, and also to compounds that we could evaluate that shouldn't be in human body fluids. The amount that's zero, and yet we're finding that are, I believe, responsible for a lot of the mortality, excess mortality, all-cause mortality that's happening across our planet. These are people are being exposed everywhere. It's probably an important note about the participants of the study were not from the United States. They were from London. And the reason I say it is one of the compounds that was identified in high levels is a nerve agent. And it's used. The last time it was used was in World War I. And it was internationally banned for use or used in any way. And yet we're finding phosgene, which is a compound after you burn vilinidine dichloride, that appears in the United States and has been tested outside the States to be an additional compound, a forever chemical, a nerve agent amounts. That's one of the things besides the graphene oxide. Another one that's on a lot of folks' mind is aluminum particulates, and particularly nano aluminum. So these are all disruptive to the endocrine system, disruptive to the neurological system, and therefore it affects every organ, every gland, and every tissue. So the beauty of what has created is a company whose focus is on not just a few people that have money, to buy this product, but his focus is on the whole. He wants everyone to be protected, and so that are purchasing his outside the United States, he knows there's duty on that product. Creative way, and he can tell you if he wants. In a creative way, he offering, I'll say it like that helped to subsidize those additional charge. What they told me was, this is a company with a heart.
Mm-hmm.
This is a wants all people to this nanotechnology that is maybe the antidote based on our research to validate efficacy. MasterPeace which is a nano-colloidal solution of marine plasma, which, I'll let Matt take over and kind of explain, the sources and the whys for that. I can get more into the science, but that's my short answer while we're waiting for Matt to join us.
Hi, Matt. Welcome. We're so happy you made it.
Yes.
I hope we can hear you. Oh, good. We can.
Yes. I hope my reception is okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. Dr. Yorn was
Awesome.
cutting out a little bit here and there, but I understood everything that he said. And he always has great things to say. But Matt, tell us about how you got started, how you came up with this. I mean, it's amazing what's happening. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think we definitely had a need in the world for something that was going to do what help with a problem that we had, which was a worldwide health epidemic looming and coming down on us, and people's mental state of being and their emotional state of being and their physical health going downhill. And so, I did a lot of thinking and a lot of mental searching, and I wanted to really just help make something that I felt like there was something big that needed to be made. And I have a lot of kids, and I think I wanted our world and the future world of our world to be able to survive. And I really felt like we were under a lot of attack, and I wasn't a big conspiracy theorist. I was more like a researcher and a great thinker on things. And I was like, man, so
I think we're finding out that most of the conspiracies are true. So anyway, go ahead.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
Right. I totally. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So
I'm not afraid to say so.
So
yeah, I've been called one. So go ahead.
Yeah. I've been called worse, I guess. So yeah, I started trying to come up with a product that was our something. I wasn't fixated on a product, but I wanted it to be able to undo the kind of crux or the root of why people and our fellow man and women couldn't live right and be right and think right and act right anymore. I felt, and so I started going down every rabbit hole I could find, and long story short, ended up thinking about poison and poison removers and detoxification support products, and got into formulations of health supplement products, and came across zeolites and other chelators and binders, and started thinking about them and creating something completely new that was going to act on a higher level in terms of being completely safe and effective, not harmful. The number one thing is I didn't want to do any harm. I wanted to do the opposite of harm, and come up with something that was going to work and make people brighten up and come and thrive and come into their best selves. And everybody I started calling ended up being the best people and the highest level experts, and they really heard me. And Robert Young is obviously an amazing person to speak on behalf of anything, but he was probably the fourth or fifth real high level great person that said, hey, I'll get behind this a little bit, and I'll spend a little bit of time and listening about this and telling you what I think. And we landed on top of, it's not always like sometimes we know sometimes we know different isolates and we know specific little things, but we may not know about how everything interacts and synergistically works together. And I think maybe that's kind of what's happened with the two ingredients in the formula that's called MasterPeace, which is just hyper structured, highly tuned marine plasma, which is very, very healthy stuff on its own, but also zeolite, which is a good toxin remover on its own. But when you put the two together, it's totally a match made in heaven. And so, you know, I had to, I knew in my way of thinking that whatever I helped create, it couldn't be just for the millionaires behind big concrete walls. It had to be for every single person in the world that could afford it. I wanted it to be something where if someone knew how good it was for them and the people that they love, that they could budget for it. And that was the whole thinking. And so I'm like, okay. And so it started coming together, and I had this thing and this formula that was changing my family's life and my life and the people's life around me that started taking it. And I knew something was special was really brewing. And so I just kind of put my number one asset and liability that we all have, which is our precious time, energy, and focus, more and more, harder and harder into this. And we're to a place now where this is going well for everybody, and over 60 countries a month. There's families that are getting this, and they're feeling the difference, and they're recognizing the improvements. And this is what I think. How about this? If something is as good as what MasterPeace appears to be, then when you're being depoisoned, you're going to feel it, and it's going to feel good. And that's the reality for family on top of family out there in the world right now. And that's what we want to keep working with. We want that to bloom out.
That's fantastic. And the results are speak for themselves so far. One of the things that was concerned, and I'd like to put this concern to rest, and that is that because zeolite goes after positive cations, they would also go after your magnesium, calcium, and potassium. And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the marine plasma takes care of that.
Yes.
Yeah,
I would say so. In marine plasma, which is the opposite charge of the zeolite, so it's actually a unit. It's a combined unit. MasterPeace isn't just zeolite. It's not zeolite with water. It's zeolite with every single element in the periodic chart. It's every single mineral that is supposed to be in your body, and it's in the most natural ratio and harmonic balance, and it's in the most it's and it's in its most bioavailable state. So sometimes it's not like if you take a lot of magnesium and you have enough zinc in your body, when you're taking supplements, it's not like the amount of something, it's more like how bioavailable it is.
Oh, definitely.
In simple terms, obviously. Yeah. So marine plasma is the most bioavailable, nutrient-rich substance that you can probably look at underneath microscopy or spectrometry. It's really, really highly bioavailable. And so when it's not going to go in, grab good stuff, and then release. It's not going to go in and grab up good minerals and then release these other better, more bioavailable minerals. It's not going to do all that. The zeolite has an affinity for more stronger, positively charged things, which is always, as far as I know, really unhealthy things like heavy metals or different things like that. So yeah. What we're not seeing, and I like to stick with evidence and proof. I like to stick with facts. I don't like to get into he said, she said, because then some expert with a bigger label and title can try to claim what they think they know. And I like to deal with like what we can read and what is clear. And what we have seen when we take people's blood and measure the levels, we're seeing the things that are bad inside of the body reduce in levels. So whether you're talking about microplastics or something that's even more dangerous, which is like graphene oxide or hydrogel, all those things, those levels are significantly reducing. And that's I think that's, instead of people saying, well, how about this? Let's do a risk reward. Let's look at it like this. If there's things that are unnatural and don't belong in your body, these are impure things, whether they're microplastics or lead or mercury or aluminum or cadmium or graphene oxide, BPAs, the list goes on and on and on. If you could reduce those things that your body can't handle or manage by, let's say, 70% in 3 months, if you can take the things that have accumulated in your blood that you don't want in there, and you could reduce it by 70%. Now, I'm not saying this. I don't believe this is true. But if that took away 5% of your natural minerals, I don't think this is the case, by the way, at all. I mean, what would be what you would be willing to get 70% of the things that are messing your health up and destroying your health, your natural cell function and everything else out of your body? Now, I don't believe that it's doing that at all, because I think you're only, look, you're taking 5 drops of something twice a day. If those 5 drops are removing in 90 days, 70% or a great significant level of things you don't want in your body, how much is it really taking of something good? Is it taking anything that's good? I mean, that's the case. That's the thing you'd want to start looking at, just trying to be logical and practical. Yeah. So anyways, we're helping people feel better, live better, think better. They're more clear. Their health on every level. When you're being depoisoned, you can feel it, and that's what people are experiencing, and that's what counts.
I always like Dr. Young's comparison of the fish tank, the dirty water versus, do you clean the water or do you vaccinate the fish? Well, same thing. What do you do? Throw a bunch of medicine at the dirty tank and hope that it might work? You probably have to have an outrageous dose just to make it work, because of all the interference from all the toxins and everything else. I don't know.
Hey, how good has it worked so far? Like let's look at our world right now, and let's look at that level of thinking. Has it worked so far? If you look at the people that buy into the allopathic Western medicine system and that way of thinking, where it's like, I don't feel good, go get my flu shot. I don't feel good, I must have long COVID and I'll go get my COVID shot. Anybody listening to that way of living, like, look at them. How healthy are they? Is it working for those people that listen to that? No. It's totally leading us off a cliff. So, when you buy into, with Robert's book, it reaches the pH Miracle Life, and I know there's several editions, but the way of thinking and how it works for people. The people that listen to that way of thinking, there is millions of people that are experiencing a much higher quality of life than they ever had before. So exactly. If you go down the road and you go into a big medical building that is pretty and is, 10 plus stories tall and you listen to them, you're going to be the most unhealthiest person around you. And so, you know, we have to wage our bets on, we have to say, okay, is this person healthy? Should I listen to this person? Do they seem to have emotional health and mental state of being? And that's, you know, MasterPeace is removing the things that don't allow you to have your highest quality of life. And that is, I think that's pretty clear anyway that we can look at it. And that's, I think that's, you know, that's, and it wasn't made, guess what? I don't even think about what money's coming in off the system. I care about like everybody being compensated and taken care of the right way, but I don't think about my next newest Ferrari or anything. This wasn't made for that. This was made for mankind. Like, I'm a normal person. I'm not trying to feed my shareholders a new happy lifestyle. I didn't even have any investors in this. This was nothing like that. This was simply to make what needed to be made. It had nothing else to it the whole way. And that's why we have the most brilliant experts and the people that that can recognize when something needed to be created and needed to be surrounded and protected and stewarded out to their fellow man and woman. You know, those are the kind of people we have around us. And, you know, and I'm blessed and we're fortunate and we're much ahead of the game compared to where we were. You know, like Robert's not a shareholder. Robert wouldn't take money when I tried to say, how can I possibly help you with speaking up for the truth here? And that's not what he's about. And he's not alone, by the way. The man that owns the Nanolab that helped me with a lot of analysis, he's the same way. He has that exact same type of demeanor and attitude about it. And he's like, you know, and so I know that if this wasn't helping people, these type of people wouldn't be here with me. I'm certainly just an average person from Kansas. That's all I am. I'm an average everyday guy, and I would not have this caliber of people around me if the truth wasn't in this thing. And that's, you know, so what we want everybody to know, like, hey, guess what? You've tried everything else for yourself, health-wise and everything else. So this is not going to have those same type of this is not going to have side effects or whatever. You know, try this. See if you sleep better. See if you dream more. See if you wake up easier. See if you have higher levels of energy. See if you have a lot more moments during your day where you just feel great and where you actually, for the first time, may start thinking about things that matter, like your spirituality or your faith or, you know, a higher purpose in life and whatever that looks like for yourself. Like, hey, if you start feeling that good that you can start focusing on something other than your hurt hip and your hurt this and your hurt that and your messed up life and how everybody around you is emotionally messed up, you know, then all of a sudden we start moving into a new, brighter world. And, you know, that's why you should probably, plus a bottle lasts you 60 days and it comes out to less than $1 a day. And so that's not bad, right? What if it's anything? Yeah. What if it's anything on the level of what you have these experts saying that it is? What if it helps you on any amount of the level that you got some good people that are just trying to get the truth out are saying that it's going to do? And at that point, wouldn't that be worth it and then some? So, yeah.
It's awesome, and it is very reasonably priced and has the potential to really improve people's health and consciousness. And I'm just delighted to be carrying it. And I know and follow Dr. Young quite frequently because I admire his work and his dedication and commitment.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happens with prescription drugs that they don't talk about is it destroys enzyme systems within your body. And that contributes to a lot of serious health issues. And so here is a natural way to get the junk out. Because it's like, I mean, sometimes I compare it to dirty dishwasher, dishwater, adding a whole bunch of soap to it, but it's not gonna. Is it still gonna get as clean things as clean as you'd want them to be? You want the water to be clean. It's so important. So the water inside of your body is critical. And according to what I've learned from Dr. Young, is our interstitial fluids and our fluids within our cells are full of all this junk. And we haven't really had a good way to get it out, because I've heard even in the past some of the zeolites have been contaminated with heavy metals and things like that. But you know for a fact that yours is pure and nano size, correct?
Well, it's sub nano size. So I mean, if you're going to say like down to the 1 nanometer size, when we're looking at the MasterPeace formula underneath that level of magnification, which I'm not real familiar with any other health supplement. Maybe Robert has done this for them, but I just don't know. But where you're looking at something that small, the marine plasma minerals and nutrients and everything that's in it, it's so small and so bioavailable that even when you're looking at it down to like 1 nanometer, you can't see this marine plasma specific mineral. Like they're down the ion range, which is sub nano, maybe even sub picometer. I guess we don't have the equipment to see that lower of a level. It's highly bioavailable. It's going to go everywhere in your body. It's going to be very available for your body for cation exchange and upgrades and trans. You know, if your body was trying to do shifts and pleomorphic activities, it's. This is what I think. If you're going to send in something that's going to go find bad guys, things that you don't want in your body, toxins and biohazardous materials and things that your body can't decompose and manage.
Parasites? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to ask that.
No, totally. We don't have any observation of it, attacking a parasite or something like that. Robert can maybe speak on it a little bit more. I think there's a big discussion when it comes to any time they want us to believe we need to have a war on something. So there's a war on cancer. There's a war on parasites. There's a war on this and a war on that. Yeah, right. So, yeah, they want you to have a war on cancer. So, sometimes these things of the body, because it's a time in the cycle of the body's life in that specific area that it needs to happen. And so it may not be the bad thing that, I'm not saying it's a good sign. It's not a good sign, but it may not be, it may be needed at that time for your body to get itself back to homeostasis or its highest level of health. And so, when it comes, how about this? If your body's very healthy, you won't have that many parasites in it. And so as your body's levels of health improve, then the amount of parasites in your body will decrease. So does MasterPeace contribute to that shift? Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. Very good. that does make a lot of sense. And well, we have lots to worry about because they have, well, I don't want to say that, not lots to worry about. This, about getting this out of our body is what I was getting at. And that's the beauty of this product. I've always, because they even genetically engineer the parasites from what I understand. So humanity needs a break, and this seems like a wonderful break, a wonderful opportunity to remove these things from your body. And just imagine how much better your body can work when all that junk is out of it.
Right. Yeah. I don't think anybody's allowed to say the word heal and without getting attacked or whatever, but it's maybe it's kind of like your body's its own healing system, and maybe your body does the healing, and so a cleaner terrain, a cleaner fishbowl, all that, whatever helps get the fishbowl that we're taking in nasty things, we're breathing in dirty everything, and we're ingesting a lot of dirty, unnatural things. So anything that's going to clean up our body a little bit more is going to allow our body to work better, and that's really the gist of it.
Definitely, and I couldn't agree with you more, because that's always been an issue that I thought about, but it didn't seem like we've had the greatest solutions around until now. I mean, there were some out there, but there was quite a variance in results.
Yeah.
So
there's no such
do you have
thing.
any input you'd
There's
like
not a
to
big magic pill here, people.
add?
MasterPeace is a great contributor. It is a keystone ingredient to having your highest level of health. But you're not just going to get to take MasterPeace. All of a sudden, you can go drink what you want, and live whatever terrible lifestyle habits you want to do.
Good point.
That's not realistic. So, the people that had that highest level of health back in the 70s and the 1930s and everywhere else, so you still, if you want to be super healthy, you might want to still unconstipate your lymphatic system. You still might want to learn about the benefits to pH in your body and keeping track of the pH of your body and different things like that. But it's I think MasterPeace serves a critical position and role in someone surviving and thriving through these next times that we're in, which is going to be pretty tough.
Yes. Did you have something you wanted to add, Dr. Young? I'm not sure if he heard me or not.
Well, you realize, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me, Gail?
Yes.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
important
Yes,
for
I can
people
hear
to
you.
realize
There's a little delay.
that your health is a reflection of your health is of how clean your environment is, out as well as inside your body. And when we're talking about the inside of the body, we're talking about body fluids. You have three of them: vascular fluids, interstitial fluids, and intracellular fluids. And these all contain or produce toxins that daily basis. For men, 4 elimination organs, for 5: urination, defecation, perspiration, and respiration. And the other one for women, of course, is menstruation. So the body's constantly important things for good health is to maintain the integrity of our internal environment. Disease is an environmental problem, an internal environmentalist, because I've been testing these fluids now for looking at these toxic or healthy fluids living cell. So, for example, our environment. Cancer is not a disease of the cell, it's an effect of a toxic environment. For example, you know this. If you smoke, your risk for lung cancer goes up. Well, what's happening? What's happening there is you're polluting the interstitial fluids. Those fluids that surround the environment is toxic. It will lead to a cancerous cell. So, noun, it's an adjective explaining what's happening to cells. How does this have anything to do with MasterPeace? MasterPeace is a janitor. Its construct is multidimensional. It goes around when it gets into your body like a cage and particulates. Micron, which is down to billionths of an inch. These particulates of cell products that break down because of their environment, or things that are introduced through respiration or through what we're drinking, using electrical energy it produces. Those we all know. So when you're putting in a product, my question that I would, does that product act as a janitor to clean or to clean up the pollution that's in your solutions? And the answer is yes. Why? Because it's negative surface charge. So toxins, which I also call acids, are waste product of what? Respiration. What's the oxide? Metabolism. So what is that? Lactic acid and citric acid are waste products of metabolism. Well, what are the waste products? Well, we know from meat, it's sulfuric acid, uric acid. These are the waste products. And uric acid. We know, you know what causes gout. Here's a tougher question. Do you know what causes cancer? Citric acid. These waste products that if the body doesn't eliminate them, 5 orifices of the body, they end up affecting. So Mike, multi evaluating this. I've been doing this for 40 years. The effects, dietary, environmental, respiratory, waste, toxins. People who are sick do have disease, have toxins or poisons that are causing symptomologies that is wrongfully called disease. There's only balance or imbalance. You're either unclean, you're either acidic or alkaline. And one of the simple efficacy of money, very important chelator. What is a chelator? Something that tracks something to it. Opposite magnetics. Charge is negative. Tracks these poisons. I don't care about magnesium or zinc. People talk about that as if they're life-saving. What is life-saving is something that will attract a poison, making you sick, and literally capture it, collect it, hold on to it, and never let it go. And then what does the body do with that? You urinate, you perspirate, you respirate this out of your. So this is how these products work. MasterPeace, which is a negatively charged colloidal technology with the most of toxins. And we're talking about graphene oxide. We're talking about aluminum oxide. We're talking about chemicals, phosgene, These are in our environment. The number one toxin in our environment, and we're being exposed to it now in our food, because in the air falls to the earth, our soil, it gets to our water, and you start drinking this stuff. And these are the toxins that are difficult to get rid of. There are other things, such as MasterPeace. You know, what do the animals do? How do they deal with this? You know what they do? I don't care if it's a bird. I don't care if it's a reptile. It's an animal. They find a clay lake and they eat the clay. They do it every single day of their life. If they didn't, they would be poisoned by the chemicals that are in some of these foods, what they're drinking, in the water, or what they're breathing. They do it naturally. Why do farmers, cattle, ranchers, why do they put out, why do animals need salt? Why does MasterPeace put salt into their formulation? Because without salt, there is no life. What is Greek word for salt, or the Latin for salt? Sol, S-O-L. What is it in religious terms? S-O-U-L. It is what did to the physical body. You're taking in MasterPeace.
Isn't that the first thing they give somebody in an ambulance?
You're taking in the foundational elements that protect the physical body. See, you can call it a soul, or you can build, because we're a physical body. The physical body is like this jacket I'm wearing, suit. The physical body is a suit, and it contains a biofield, a soul, a spirit that is held together by an ion of sodium. And if that's not enough for you, wow, sodium ions are the elements by which electrons are transported off a matrix cell in the body, because every cell in the body runs off electrical energy, an acidic waste product. So when you're talking about biochemistry and of metabolism, respiration factors, when we're looking at food we're eating, you need something that will help you maintain the delicate pH alkaline balance of those body fluids. The largest one is called the body ocean. Did you know that? Did you know that the largest is not the skin? Did you know it? It is a body of water that's around 70 areas. Well, that's what the Americans and the American scientists declared not 20 years ago, not 10 years ago, just a couple of years ago. They don't even teach this stuff in medical school. This is important to understand, that what you're trying to protect with MasterPeace is not the cell. It's not a cellular product. It's dealing with toxicity in the environment. The pollutants in your environment, which are called the interstitial fluids of the interstitium. The Americans named that only a few years ago. They studied it in Germany in the 80s. It's called the colloidal. I tell you this because it's the single most important thing if you want to test the efficacy of this. Test your urine, because urine is a product of the interstitial fluid. What is the ideal pH? 8.4 to 9. If your pH is below that, then you're going to have health challenges. Are you suffering from symptomologies? Symptomologies that are being treated by medical professionals that think they understand physiology, because the bottom line to this is urine is not 5.5 to 9. That's like that spread is millions of times. I mean, if we're looking at the ideal pH human blood at 7.365 and it drops to 6.9, you're dead. You're dead. If the drops, it's from 8.3 to 4 to 7.9, everything else is dead. The bottom line is we are being poisoned. You are not sick, you have been poisoned. And things like MasterPeace, which is a very unique colloidal nanotechnology that binds to poisons, and then your body naturally removes those. That's how simple. That's how simple. You are not poisoned. And every symptom of enervation, inflammation, induration, ulceration, by whatever name they want to call it. If you want to call it autism, you want to call it allergy, if you want to call it SARS, severe acute respiratory, these are symptoms. These are not diseases. You're eating it now. You're drinking the water, graphene oxide. You're breathing the air, poisoned every second, every minute, every hour of the day. And then you run as if, Doctor, sick. Can you see me from my sickness? That's like people jumping off a cliff, ending at the bottom with an ambulance waiting there for them to pick them up and going, oh, save me from jumping this cliff. People are in this every single day with what they eat, what they drink, what they breathe, what they think, what they feel, and what they believe. You're literally committing suicide and don't even know it. And you expect a system that is corrupt to save you from that, while they're treating symptoms and not underlying causes. We're talking about relationship, and that's what the pH Miracle is a book. pH Miracle is about cause and effect relationships. And you can go and get that book at pH Miracle. Read chapter 11. Take care of your body, because nobody else will and nobody else cares other than just transfer your wealth to their pocket.
Right.
So the bottom here is
That is so true.
you need to take back your health. We don't need more. We don't need vaccination and being poisoned through inoculation. We need education. We need to empower people with the knowledge on how to take care of themselves, because and you're supposed to put your face mask on first before you help anybody else. Bottom line is you must be the cure you want to see to do it. There are tools, and Matt has created one of those tools. pH Miracle Products has tools to support. They're synergistic. They're based on nature. They're based on nurture. They're not based upon philosophies of men. They're based on godly principles, principles of righteousness. Now, excuse me if this sounds like, I'm preaching to you, but you've got to wake up because we don't have much time. The amount of toxicity that we're being poisoned is in the tons, trillions of tons. We see it in our oceans. We see it in our air with the bodies. But the one pollution that you cannot see that's killing people is electromagnetic pollution, Wi-Fi, 4G plus 5G that's operating in the microwave hertz and up, wondering why you feel like you have a urinary tract infected by 5G. Pulsating frequency is literally internal and disturbing the health and vitality of the human cell. Wake up, people. And that's why I'm supportive of what Matt's doing. Puzzle. And that's why I'm supporting pH Miracle Products, because it's a important piece of the puzzle. I wouldn't speak about them unless I knew that they work. And is because we're doing the testing. We're doing and we're publishing this peer reviews. So this is my promise to you. At zero cost to you who are listening to this, I will send you all the information you need to protect your family and the scientific articles and videos so you can understand what in the heck are these guys talking about. In simple terms, it's great if you have the money, go out and buy the book. If you have the money, that's the first thing I would do. I would get some life-saving protection, MasterPeace, terra firma clay. You need to start filtrating and structuring your water. You need this in order to survive the constant. Get this whole disease model. It's an illusion. There are no viruses. Cause disease. Wake up from your wokeness. Or you're not going to be around. That's and this is not a conspiracy theory. This is, I don't think this. I'm going to realize this. I don't think I know this. I know exactly what's happening. And Matt also. And so thank you for the platform to be able to share, because true. So go to the links that are with this conversation that we're having. Taking back your sovereign rights. Start caring for yourself, because guess what? You're the only one that really does care. There are a few around us, but they're very few. So that was all I had to say in closing. I need to run now, but God bless you all with safety and protection, and just remember,
That's awesome.
You're only as healthy as your internal environment. And that you can test yourself by testing the urine. The ideal pH urine is 8.4. I don't think this, I know this. And if you're in any size, the ideal pH is 9. And we're looking at the pH, it's exponential. So each point is to the power of 10.
Wow.
pH of to 6 is 10 times. 6 to 7 is 100 times. 7 to 8 is 1,000 times. You see, narrow range.
Wow.
So
And one of the things,
medicate yourself.
Yeah.
You know, not medicate yourself. That doesn't solve any problems. Education, not medication. And these are whole food substances. These exist in nature. Matt can talk the MasterPeace ingredients, but I've got to say goodbye. All the best to each of you, and take care.
Awesome, Robert.
thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Young.
you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
You almost made me misty-eyed there. It's really nice to know that there are practitioners out there who really do care. And it's obvious that you're one of them, Matthew. I'm one of them. I try to bring this kind of information as soon as I hear it forward to people so they can help themselves. Like Dr. Young said, we can only do so much. We can give you the tool.
I think
but you have to.
I think he's so out of controllably compelled and passionately driven to help out every man and woman that, you know, he's on a war path to help change and unravel the wrong thinking and the wrongdoing that has led us so far astray. It's just amazing. His knowledge. I'm around so many experts in my life, Gail, and they are microscopy and experts, live blood analysis experts, and all, you know, a lot of different types of people actually, and they kind of refer to him as like the GOAT, the actual Don of microscopy, and he's just a pioneer. He's truly,
Yes, he is.
You know, nobody will understand it unless they take the needed necessary time to research for themselves what he's published. The man's published over 3,000, not 3, not 30, not 300, over 3,000 medical pages of irrefutable, undeniable research, analysis, facts, proof, evidence, observation. That, and you know, and for people to look at his information at face value won't get him anywhere, because he's talking over our heads until you actually look at the stuff. And so even the highest level experts are still a decade behind this guy, or 2 decades behind the guy. If someone says, I know that the germ theory is a lie and viruses don't exist, that dude was saying that in the early 80s.
I know. He was getting you to alkalinize then too, because
Right.
there are other books, Alkalinize or Die, you know,
Right.
And that's very important too. And one of the products he didn't even mention, which is, you know, it's one of his pH Miracle products, which is really helpful if you're having difficulty getting that pH up when it's down, is Forsalt.
Yeah,
I've used it myself.
I got it myself
Sometimes,
too.
sometimes it's hard to be as perfect as we might like to be with our diet.
Yeah, totally.
So
totally. It certainly doesn't help to hack your way to a healthier you in the meantime while you're still perfecting your lifestyle and dietary habits. None of us are perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, see, and the thing about it too is every day we're exposed. So this is a daily problem which has been accumulating for some time now, and they're ramping it up.
Yes.
So I really can't emphasize enough how important this little bottle is that lasts for 2 months.
Yes. Yeah.
MasterPeace.
Yeah. We don't really. I do have a lot of air quality tests. I have a countless amount of soil sample tests. They look like this, and this is just my latest batch.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at these things, they're all the same thing. And when you go down to the very bottom where it says aluminum, I don't know if you can see that. Probably not.
Kind of, sort of. Not very good, though.
Kind of,
But that's okay.
sort of.
We get it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get the thing. Hold on. Can you see aluminum now? Nope.
Yeah.
Darn.
Not very good.
Maybe.
I
No problem.
kind of hard to see.
So,
but that's okay.
The truth of the matter is, in our soil and in our air, the amount of aluminum, other heavy metals, is very scary. And we don't need to talk about them until people are actually remediating them and out of their bodies and taking care of their health better, because we're in a real problem right here. And so, if it's in the air and if it's in the soil, you're breathing it in every breath. And so it's on your food with glyphosate and everything else. All these unnatural things are coming into your body 24/7, 365 days a year. And so what we have to do is know how to get out all these unnatural things faster than you're breathing them in. So until the environment and ecosystem one day is clean enough that you don't have to take something to help you get these unnatural biohazardous toxins, forever chemicals, microplastics, PFOs, PFOAs, graphene oxide, the list goes on, and there's like 80,000 of them. So you got to be able to get the stuff out and faster than it's coming in. And that's what MasterPeace has proven, under, at least with the people that we have taken underneath clinical trials. We've taken their blood, we've taken their levels, we've measured their levels of graphene oxide, hydrogel, which is polyethylene glycol, polypropylene, the macroplastic, PFOs, PFOAs, glyphosate. We've all heard of glyphosate. We've all heard of aluminum oxide. We've all heard of all these things. So we're measuring them. We are taking people's blood, measuring them, putting them on MasterPeace, and then measuring them again. And if you can imagine, every day you're taking in more accumulation. You're taking in more toxins. So if you can get it out faster than it's coming in, which is what MasterPeace so far has shown to do, we're not going to change the formula. I'm the one that is responsible for the formula. I won't be changing it for anybody, because I didn't do any of this to do anything to help everybody. So guess what? It's going to be the same, or it's going to get better if we can make it better, but it's certainly not going to get worse. And right now we have the proof, we have the evidence, we have the factual data that can't be denied, that's irrefutable, that says if you will spend $1 a day, which is what it costs to take the normal dosing of MasterPeace, for $1 a day, you can get out all this stuff that you can't right now. You have to take it in. You have to breathe. You have to eat. You have to drink. So you're getting it into your body. So why not spend $1 a day to get it out faster than it's coming in? That's what we've done for everybody. And we just got to get the word out. We just got to let everybody know about it. Yeah, my whole family, we take it all day long. If I'm like around my family for too long and I don't give them more MasterPeace, I'm thinking I'm not taking care of them. That's because I know it's in it and I know how good it works. That's really what it's about. It's like, so. Well,
what I'm wondering, Matthew, is with the amount of aluminum that we've taken in and the amount of dementia, even that we're seeing even in younger people, if that wouldn't help really help improve that whole situation. Once it gets out, better thinking may return.
I don't get to make claims because
you can't make claims. Yeah, I understand.
Well, no. I'm not going to make claims. Yeah, I know how to speak on it. But there is countless people who claim with their own anecdotal testimonials that is available on our Twitter page and all over. We certainly don't have anybody on our payroll making up testimonies or anything like that. And they are claiming, people that are very close to me too, nonverbal, non-potty trained autistic kids, older folks that have had severe forms of dementia, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, their family members claiming for the first time in a decade or two, the shift and like something new, like the light comes back on, they're there again, they're remembering things again, not just people's names, but they're knowing how to take care of themselves again. And so that appears to be something that is occurring with people that are, whatever they're doing in their life, they're also taking MasterPeace at the same time. So it's always hard to say what it is, right? So,
Right.
but I do believe that, like, most people believe that these things that lead to a neurological dysfunction or dementia, that they're not resettable. You can't go back on them, and they can't get better. But we have a mountain of people that are, at least on their testimonials, are claiming that it's happening for them. And if they weren't saying that, I wouldn't bring it up, but they're saying that.
Wow. Yeah, I believe it, and I know we can't make claims, but there are testimonials, and that it's just logical, though.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, you know what? Maybe. Okay, so let's go back 100 years, right? So 100 years ago, things like a word for cancer, autism, Parkinson's, schizophrenia, Alzheimer's, they didn't have those diseases and diagnoses, right? So they've gotten worse and worse and worse, and now it seems like every single person in the world knows someone who has those things, right? Everybody knows someone with that. So if those things didn't happen 100 years ago, let's look. Hey, indigenous tribes, old indigenous tribes, their languages don't have words in there for cancer, for Parkinson's, for dementia, because maybe they don't have a word for it because it didn't exist back then, because you make words up for things that exist. So, if we can remove these unnatural toxins that come from the Industrial Revolution and these combustible engines and these refineries and all these unnatural man playing God processes, if we can get those things out of the body, wouldn't the body maybe go back to a higher state of living and a better state of being? And at least people, I don't know what they're doing outside of taking MasterPeace, but we got a pile of people that are taking MasterPeace and whatever else they're doing that are making claims that they're talking about their family members doing a lot better than they've done in a long time with these things. And that's what I wake up to every day.
That's big, and that's awesome, and it's just going to increase, and you're going to love it.
Oh, yeah.
That's my feeling.
That's the reason I'm doing this.
I got one other question for you, though. I was wondering, you mentioned that the frequency you had, the zeolite, the marine plasma, and frequency. Now, were you referring to the frequency of the marine plasma, or do you actually infuse frequency as in your product?
Well, yeah, it's a natural processes, and we do embed the formula with high consciousness fields. If you look into the David Hawkins level of consciousness, map of consciousness, science of consciousness, and also like structuring water, what I call functional structuring. And there's different ways to do a double helix on it. So you go both ways of the toroidal field. And, there's a lot of things in our science that we're not, that we don't understand yet. If we think we've conquered science and the understanding of quantum physics and everything else, then we're, totally off. Right. So there's a lot of higher levels of science that aren't the highest levels of science because we don't know about them yet. But there is a natural creational laws and science that are applied with this formula that, we can't really prove but it sure seems like this. When we're looking at people's blood, we're about to start a 24 people randomized, double-blind, double placebo study. It's our newest study that's going to be published in every peer-reviewed study. It sure looks like how well this thing works. There's a lot to it. It's pretty darn great. It's not just throwing marine plasma and zeolite together. There's a little bit more to it than that.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other question that I have is that the studies that we saw where there's the big drop in the graphs of the different substances. What about, this was in England, correct?
Yes.
I feel like America is getting hit harder with the poisons than the other countries. I mean, I could be wrong about that. But for some reason, I know that they're trying to take us down. And you do that by destroying people's health and immigration and everything else that's going on. But I was just wondering, will this study include Americans' levels of toxins?
Yes. Yes. So our two newest studies, we're not going to speak on the other one. It's pretty covert. But I will say this. If you go dump oil in the Atlantic Ocean and you give it enough time, it shows up in the Pacific Ocean. So if chemtrails are dropped, okay, so how about this? Vinyl dichloride, I believe. So when they burn it, it becomes phosgene. Phosgene is a neurotoxin, and so it shouldn't have been around. After World War I, it was banned as a substance. Mm-hmm. Now in East Palestine in Ohio, remember when they had that big train wreck?
Yeah.
Okay.
They rushed that under the carpet. Yeah.
That was phosgene. So when we tested test subjects in United Kingdom, which is clear across the ocean from that East Palestine accident, okay, they came up with high levels of phosgene. You're talking about a substance that's not supposed to be allowed on Earth for a long time. So here's the deal. We're going to definitely test people off of every continent, all age groups, all whatever, however we want to split each other up. We're all the human race, though. We all, the way, so we're going to look at everything to the best that we can afford to do, because we're a little company. We're not backed by the deep state or our shareholders that have $1 billion. We're doing it as we go along, the good old fashioned way.
Those are the best kind, right? Because they come from your average American, which is one of the reasons why people used to always want to come to America, because there was opportunity. And where the average guy can make a difference, and you fit that, and I fit that to some extent, because I'm a nobody, basically.
That's
too.
Right,
and I don't mean that in a bad way, but you know what I mean.
I
certainly don't have big money, so. That's awesome.
But you got a big heart, and in abundance, your health is your wealth, and abundance comes in knowing that you're doing the right thing, and that you stood your ground for the truth, and in the end, that will serve back to all of us. And if anybody that takes, this is what I would say, Gail. There's a certain amount of your listeners that know that you care, and so they will, I would say this, your most valuable asset and resource that you can offer anyone you care about or your community or anywhere else is your time, your energy, and your focus. So if you choose to put your time, energy, and focus into helping get MasterPeace out to your fellow man and woman, it will compensate you in a way that you haven't been compensated before. It will pay you back 30%. You won't be underneath any form of obligation to not just purchase MasterPeace, but to share the cause of MasterPeace. If you share it to anybody, you will get 25% for sharing out everything with MasterPeace, and and then 5%. So it's a total of 30% in order to help your fellow man and woman and their pets and their animals feel better than they felt in a long time. And that's a good system. That's a good system that's worthy of your precious time, energy, and focus. Whatever you got in your bank account is not you. You're your time, energy, and focus. And so if you take this and you start feeling better, you start sleeping better, you start dreaming better, you just start feeling better during the day for no other reason, and you say, hey, I want other people to feel like this, and you go do that, you get compensated really good. And that's not a bad thing. That is actually the way the world should be set up, because you should be taken care of with your time and energy and focus with abundance. And so, MasterPeace is highly affordable for everybody. It's worth a shot. There's no side effects. If you feel like you don't feel anything, then don't buy it again like anything else. That's a simple challenge I make, because we don't see that happening. we see people
Really?
we see people not wanting to live without it quite often, but we don't see anybody not wanting to be without it or not thinking it helps them. So, I'm just happy because the best people, the most intelligent people, the people that really know how to discern truth from myth have come aboard. You're one of them, Gail. And, our world's getting to be a better place at this point. There's enough people taking MasterPeace. We're really starting to see it. It's kind of a movement at this point. It's pretty beautiful. We're getting attacked like you wouldn't even believe, with cyber attacks. And I got emails. It's so crazy. I have all types of interesting places getting a hold of me and trying to make me feel bad, like they can threaten me, and and so we're doing the highest level of work for humanity and for mankind.
No good deed goes unpunished.
All right. That's okay.
That's what they used to say in this, but we're changing that. Everything, all that is changing, and it's changing for the better because of people like you and
people like you.
Yeah. It's harder for me to say for myself, but anyway, thank you for saying that. But
I have my monthly town hall meeting. I have my monthly town hall not my town hall meeting for the company. I have like 300 people waiting for me.
Okay. Well, you're free to go. And I'm just going to say a little comment at the end after you go. If you need to go, go ahead and go.
You're perfect, Gail. Gail,
thank you.
Thank you. I have been told by Robert, by the way, and a couple other people that you stand for the truth and for everything you do and everything you try to do. Thank you so much, because our world is on the upgrade or up the slide right now because of people like you. And I just want to tell you, I'm here for you. And anytime we want to revisit and do another show together and stuff, yeah, I got your back. Okay. So.
Awesome. Yes, I'd like to speak to your doctor and Carrie Maggi, if you could make me a contact, those two, and we'll talk.
I got you. You want, if you want to talk with Carrie Maggi, I got that. I think she'll, absolutely.
Never forget her. I never forget her, because when she was the one that saw the little Hydra look up at her, I never forgot that. That was wild. I'm going, oh my God, that was.
I better let you go. I gotta go. I got like hundreds of people.
Yeah, go ahead. Go.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being here. And one of the reasons I wanted a little minute is I wanted to thank all my subscribers and the people who helped me through Patreon, and also a good friend who has been helping me longer than anybody from the very beginning. And I want a special thank you to go out to her, because she's a very special person. She doesn't know how much she's helped me at times. So thank you, Beverly, and thank you, everyone else. Thank you, Lenny, too, and anyone else that, I can't always think of everybody, but I'm very grateful. And thank you for being here, and have a wonderful rest of your day. And I would tell you, I'm excited about this, more excited than anything, to get that crap out of your body. We got garbage in us, and we need to get it out. So take your health back by taking out the garbage. And I'll see you again soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And
we have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors.